Hi everybody. When Stepwise first came out, I wasn't all that sold on it. I have never been a huge fan of step sequencers. They definitely have their place, but it's not something that I tend to go for that often. But the more I've learned about it, the more into it I've gotten. So I thought I'd make a track using that today. And some of this may not be directly applicable to plugins that you might have, but I am going to try to make something in Bitwig that also replicates the concept that I will be talking about with it. So I actually really like to use it with Kontakt instruments because Kontakt has these chromatic notes for a lot of its instruments, which are different articulations. So this is a drum, so that is to be expected with it. I think those are patterns. These are actually the hits themselves, and these are rolls and stuff like that. So I'm going to start with that. Well, I'm going to start with just first this really basic beat that I have in here, and I haven't done too much sound selection here. I'm just going to work with what I have in the template right now. And I'll probably change this beat up a little bit, but I just like to have something to be listening to while I'm doing stuff with Stepwise. So here in this Indian drum, the Pakawaj, I think it's called. I should ask my wife. She is Indian and would be able to tell me the correct pronunciation. But I didn't do that before this video, so here we are. So I'm going to load in Stepwise. And if you don't know, when you hit the play button, it will just play whatever patterns you have written out here in these notes. So first of all, I know that I want this to start on C3, and it's kind of a pain to go in here and transpose each of these up 2 octaves. So I'm just going to put a transpose in and kick it up 2 octaves. So now this is going to be playing the C3 where it says C1. This down in volume a little bit. So, okay, that's actually already kind of cool. So I will just leave it for now. I might make some changes later. What I really like about Stepwise is that you can pretty easily program in polymetric things. So let's try out 13 for this one, and let's see how this one sounds. I wanted 13 for that. Cool. I'll try 9 for this one. Okay, I don't love that, so I'll just move this one up to E. All right, so that's cool enough for now. You know, I'm just trying to make a video here, so I'm not going to sit around forever on these things. And then something else that I like to do sometimes that can be cool is this hat here, closed hat, is on G sharp 1. So you can put a Stepwise in here, and it will take both the notes. I'm going to mute this one because I don't want that. Move this up to G sharp. So you can take the notes that are coming in from your MIDI clip and then combine it with something in Stepwise. So this I'm going to want, you see here it has these note divisions already set. I am going to set this to 16th because I don't want it to be a bar. If you hold down, I'm on a Mac, if you hold down Option and click, it'll give you an accented note, and if you just click, it will give you a regular note. So I'll set this to 9, why not? And let's see how this pattern sounds with the pre-existing drums I have. All right, so that is actually kind of cool too. Let's see what's in here. might want it later, so I'll leave it. I'm just going to take out some of the lows. And I think I would like some pretty short delay on here. Although that actually is also cool. Add some ducking on it. Okay, so I actually have dotted eighth. That was not what I was planning to do. Let's see how it sounds with a short delay on it as well. Filter thing, and I don't want that to be on all the time, so I'm gonna put a random in here, and this random will be set to note and hold. So now this isn't going to do anything unless it gets a gate signal from Stepwise or from the MIDI clip, and each time it does, it will send out a random value, and I'm just going to have that pull the mix down on this short delay. And in fact, I think I will do that as well here, except on this one, I won't have it set to note. Let's do see how eighth notes sounds. I'll make this smooth, and this will just pull down this mix, not as much. A little more. Okay, cool. So, that's not what I wanted. That's a starting beat here, and the instrument I'm going to make later, I'm going to use just some guitar notes that I played in, so I know I want to be in the key, in that key, which is E flat minor. So here I have another Kontakt instrument. This one is a shamisen, which is a very cool Japanese instrument, and I have this already set here to E flat minor, and this one as well. So this is starting on C2, but I think I'm going to want to be in that C3 range again. I'll take the volume down here a little bit. Actually, those are pretty cool. Let's see, I'll just start this off at C3 and see what happens. So same thing here, I'm in Stepwise again. Now, I do believe I want to say that is E flat. Let's see if it goes down a half step when I change it. Yeah, so I think C is always the tonic. If not, I'll fix it so that it doesn't sound silly. So I know I'm certainly not going to want the exact same pattern that the drum's playing there. And I will also want to transpose this one up as well because I want it to be at C3. So again, 2 octaves up. And I'm just going to start putting notes in and see what happens. And again, you probably noticed while I was just clicking on these keys here that these are all within the E flat minor pentatonic scale, but it's different articulations, and that makes it a really cool thing to use this chromatically. So let's see what happens with just some of this. We'll just start playing around. And again, I'm just going to choose some values and see how they work. I'll try this with 13. On this one. Try an accented note here. I'll try this one with 15 as well. So that's set to 8th note. I'll put that to 16th again. Don't love that. Well, that one's okay. Maybe it's this one. And then actually maybe for these ones, despite talking about it being annoying to transpose down, I don't think there's a more convenient way to do this, unfortunately. So I'm going to try this with C, oh, I want C0, which is almost where I was. I'll do 8th notes here, and 9. I'll do 11 8th notes here. And this one, I'll just try for D0, sure. Something that I really like doing with this generative kind of stuff that I'm doing with the Kontakt is to put beam in. You can use any kind of repeater for this. You can make one in Bitwig. I just happen to really like this particular module. Maybe I'll throw a little bit of distortion. Okay, and I will as well put another one of these in here, but this one will just mess with the pitch sometimes. And I don't want that. So Beam does in fact have its own LFOs here, but I just like the Bitwig modulators more. I mean, that is kind of what Bitwig's known for, right? So I will have that pitch bend come in every 2 bars for now. So I'll use steps for that, and as I said, 2 bars. So I'll just set 2 bar and 2 steps, off, on, and here we go. And for the first one, I think I will use another polymetric thing. So I'm going to turn the mix down here, and I'm going to throw on another steps. What polymetric means is that it's, for example, having 5/4 and 4/4 playing at the same time. So, I guess that would take 20 bars before you get back to the same pattern, because the one pattern is playing 5s, the other is playing 4. It's not the same as polyrhythm, where you would have 5 notes within the space of 4 quarter notes. That wasn't a great explanation, but totally worth looking into from somebody who is, better at explaining what they're talking about than I am. All right, so I'm going to use 15 for this one. I know that I really want a lot of these to be off. This is for the first time mix. So let's see how this sounds now. All right, so I think first of all that I want this to actually be 4, so that we only get that every 4 times. So we're occasionally getting that glitchiness in there, and sometimes not. Okay, so that's it for that idea. And before I start putting this guitar in, I'm just going to put some kind of bass in. Alright, so I'm going to double this. A lot of times, as you may know from watching other videos I've made, I do like to use the operators to say, have this note play the first time but not the second time. But there was a reason why I wanted to double it out, and now I actually don't remember what it was, but here we are. So that's that. Alright, so that's not actually what I wanted to. I wanted this to play twice, but I see here. I wanted to mute this, but I actually like that not playing sometimes. So this one I'll have skip the first one. Alright, and I'm a real sucker for pitch bend, so this bass is from Serum. And I'm going to turn on the MPE here. You click on this, and then you have up here in the, I guess this is the inspector window. I should know that, but turn on MPE. And I'm going to bend this note down. I do so much pitch bending that I mapped this, but I don't believe it is automatically mapped. I'm going to do one last thing here, and then I'm going to move on to the guitar thing that I said I was going to do that allows you to use a similar concept to create this stuff. Okay, so first, let's see, second time I'll have the pitch bend on the minor third, and then the, that's pretty low. We're going to live with it. It's fine, right? Okay, and if you don't know already, the operator's over here in this window on the left the things I did are, this is playing conditionally, so it plays the first time out of 2 bars. So that'll play on the second bar, but not the 4th bar. This one is playing only on the second of 2 times, and since this is a 2-bar loop, that means it's playing on the 4th bar, but not the second. This one is only playing every 2 times. So that's playing on the 2nd and 4th bar and everything else from there on out. And it is doubled because I clicked on the repeats, and you can see that here. It's I'll just, for the sake of making it easier to see, you can see it's got 2 notes right there. Okay, put that back in the middle. All right, great. That's where I'm going to start for now. Okay, and this is just some guitar stuff that I did. It's a few E minor chords, E flat minor chords, and different articulations of notes in the E flat minor chord. So it's arpeggios, but some of them are muted, some of them are I think there's some that are bending from the 2 to the flat 3. Here's what it sounds like. Okay, so there's been. We're not going to listen to the whole thing because it's not very exciting, but what I am going to do here is it seemed like there's something extraneous. Is it right here? Yeah, okay. And I can also see here that it looks like I don't have these all lined up properly, which I do want them to be because for reasons that you'll see in a moment. So I'm just gonna separate these out, and then I'm just gonna line up each transient on the one. And I'm doing this by, once you double click on, just to get out of there, double click on an audio clip or MIDI clip, it opens up this editor down here, and you can choose what of these you want to edit. And I'm in stretch, and this is just showing our onsets, and I'm moving them all so they line up right on the one. That one's good. All right, so this one is actually triplets. So, oh, that's not actually what I wanted to do. I wanted to hit 2, not F2. Okay. And I'll just double check here that those are good. This could be lined up a little bit more. Double click to add a marker. I guess a marker. That means it won't move when I move these other ones. All right, good. Don't want that. Not that it really matters, but it doesn't hurt to get rid of things you don't want. All right, now this one should be 16th. Is this also triplet? Looks like it. And again, for reasons that will soon become clear, I know that I want this to be on the 1, so I'll just move that. And that's everything. Okay. So I'm going to shorten this. And this is running through an amp. Let's get rid of that so that doesn't happen again. This is running through an amp simulation. I think I'll just take the EQ off. Well, maybe I'll leave the low cut in just to make my life a little easier later. That should be fine. Okay. So now I'm going to hit, I'm on a Mac, I don't know what you do on Windows, but I'm going to hit Option Command B. So now I have all of the information that is in these plugins in here. So it should sound the same. Okay, good. And what I'm going to do now is right click on this bounced guitar and slice to drum machine. And this is where it comes in why I wanted to line everything up. It's just good to have your samples lined up when you put them in there, because otherwise you end up having to try to figure stuff out later. So each of these is on the downbeat of the bar. So I'm just going to set that to slice at bars. And here's our drum machine. And we can mute both of those previous guitars now. And this should actually play the same thing. Okay, so that isn't very cool. So this is starting on C1 and goes up to D sharp 1. That can't be right. C1 to D sharp 2. Okay. So I'm just going to do the same thing here that I did with the drum and the shamisen. I don't need that MIDI clip, I need Stepwise. So now this is going to be in the right frequency range. So I'm going to do the same thing here and just start playing around and see what happens. That's the velocity there. All right, so I think this is kind of unnecessary. That's just 3 chords happening. So I know I'd like to get at least one of these bent notes in here. That's already an 8th note. Let's do quarter. 5 quarter notes, why not? Let's see where one of these bent notes is. Oh, that's cool. What, I wish, let's see, D sharp 2. I'll make this one D sharp 2. Okay, so F sharp 1. Let's see if just making this a quarter note will allow me to keep that in. And so this is currently, oh, it's already set to quarter notes. Maybe I'll just take this down here and make it 7. Okay, good enough. Just do a couple more things to try to make it a little bit more interesting. And for this, let's start off with another random here, and I will use again the note-triggered variety. And I'm going to put this on the pan, set to bipolar so that it jumps around. That's cooler. And just to give it a little bit more variety, it's not like it's struggling for that too much with all of the polymeter, but just randomizing that a couple of times to mess with it. I'm going to set this to 11. Do this one a little higher. And 8th note for now, and I'm just going to pull the volume down with this one. I'm going to put a compressor on before this because I really want to hear those volume changes, but also it does seem like those chord stabs are a bit much. I'll throw some reverb on there. And I think in addition to this steps volume that I have going here, I'm going to add a tremolo. There is a tremolo preset in here, but just for, that's not actually the name of the modulator, of course. What is the name? Oh, LFO, of course. So I'm going to just make it for the sake of like, why not, right? So I believe this is the shape that I'm going to want here. I want this to be unipolar, and make it faster. Okay, so that sounds a little bit funny in and of itself right now. Real quick, I'd like to set this to 16th notes, but I want it to be in hertz. I don't have my phone on me, and I don't know what I have open on my internet. I don't know if there's any like personal information in there, so I'm just not going to, and we're just going to have it be whatever the hell speed it is, and that's cool, right? But I do want to add some randomness to this, so I'm going to add one random here that is going to be smooth. It's going to be unipolar. I'm going to double that. This one, I think I'll make the first one bipolar just because of the order I'm thinking of things in. Okay, so first one, bipolar one, is going to change the actual speed of the tremolo. This might sound silly and might take a little bit of tweaking to make actually sound cool. I'll slow that down. And the second one is going to determine how much tremolo is actually applied to this guitar situation here. Okay, cool enough. That guitar really does sound a little silly when the tremolo gets fast, but just a quick little video of how to use Stepwise to come up with creative ideas. I mean, that didn't feel like a lot of effort to me, and I mean, if you look at this drum beat, it is so basic. And, of course, I could go in here and make maybe especially the kick pattern more interesting, but just that little thing with the Stepwise and the hi-hats made it cool, and with this pakawaj, I just think it made for something much more interesting pretty quickly, and it was fun to do, and I don't know how long it took, but it wasn't too long to get to that point. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. I know that this was really specific to the types of plugins I'm using here, but maybe it inspired you to come up with some of your own ideas using polymeter in Stepwise and in our modulators. All right, have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you.